So, you really want to keep your house tidy. You try to fix your habits, get matching organizers, declutter every weekend, but still your house gets messy again. What if I told you your habits are not the problem? They're actually the solution. In this video, I'm going to show you the real secret of keeping your house tidy on autopilot by setting up systems that follow your natural patterns instead of fighting them. So you can finally stop feeling tired clearing up the same mess every single day. Hey everyone, I'm Asa and I run Eye of the Calm, which is a community of over 30,000 women readers, and it has a viewership of over 1 million on Pinterest. Before I quit my corporate job of over 18 years, I used to come back home tired to the same mess every single day until I set up systems that tackled it for good. So everything I'm about to tell you in this video, I've actually used myself. Let's do a deep dive on why mess gets created in the first place. Because if you can peel back the layers on that and fix it, you can fix everything. The real reason for mess in your house isn't that you lack discipline or willpower. It's because you're not following the clues your habits are leaving you. And the reason you're not able to see or follow these clues is because you're too clouded by your own judgment of yourself. Think about how you usually react to mess. Mess equals I need to fix this. Mess returns equals I need to fix myself. Mess returns again equals maybe I'll never be able to fix myself or get my life together. So you're not just looking at a pile of clothes on a chair, you're questioning your whole identity. Am I not as responsible as I thought I was? Am I not a disciplined person? Science actually has a name for this. Psychologists call it cognitive dissonance. It's the stress you feel when how you see yourself in your head doesn't match what you see in front of you. And decades of research has actually shown us that when something threatens how we see ourselves, we don't actually face it. We look away. So naturally, you avoid the pile of clothes because facing it brings up too many questions about yourself, too much shame, and the mess just sits there growing. So here's the trick. You can't actually shame yourself out of this, but you can outsmart it. Instead of looking at the mess as a verdict on you, you look at it as a mystery to solve. And this is why this is so interesting, because this is exactly how your brain is wired. There's actually a well-known bit of research on this by a Carnegie Mellon psychologist, and it's called the information gap. The moment you frame something as a puzzle with a missing piece, your brain can't leave it alone. It just has to close that gap. It's the same reason why you can't leave a whodunit, a murder mystery, halfway. And here's my favorite bit. The next time you see the same mess returning, instead of seeing yourself as a criminal, see yourself as a detective. A detective doesn't stand over the evidence thinking, oh, I'm so bad at this, I don't have my life together. A detective gets curious. A detective goes, interesting. Why here? Why this exact mess every time? So you stop being the guilty suspect and become the slightly amused detective instead, looking at your own behavior like a case worth solving. Okay, so it sounds good in theory, but how do you actually do it? You do what every good detective does. You learn to read the evidence. Every pile in your house is a clue. It's evidence of a decision you keep making, usually because it's the easiest decision to make in that spot. So let's work the most common cases in your house. Because if you can solve these once, you never have to keep clearing them every day. Plus, I get to live my childhood dream of becoming a detective. The doorway. The scene of crime for anyone who orders anything online. The clues are in plain sight. Boxes, returns, that padded envelope that you haven't still opened, all lying by the front door. The judgment version of this is, oh, I'm such a procrastinator. I never deal with stuff on time. Might be true, but it's absolutely useless. This was the exact case in my home too. But here's what I did. I played Sherlock, and here was my deduction. I realized I'm never going to open any box the second it arrives. That's not a character flaw. It's just how I work. I'm not going to break my flow of doing whatever it is that I was doing just to open a box. It's never going to happen. So the pile forms on the bench right by the front door because it's the easiest landing spot when my hands are full and I don't have the mental bandwidth to think about where to keep things. So I got one basket with a lid and put it there right next to my door. Every package, every box lands inside the basket instead of crowding the bench and making my entryway look cluttered. Inside the basket, it's allowed to be ugly. It's got a lid, it's contained, and from the outside, it looks like a cute basket. I just open it once a week to open the packages and I'm done in one slot without creating any extra clutter in my house. So I didn't actually stop dropping packages by the door. I just dropped it in a place where I don't see the mess and I don't question my whole existence every day. Case closed. The dreaded chair. Exhibit A in most houses. Here's the clue. Somehow, the clothes end up here on this chair, even though I have a wardrobe 4 feet away. I used to think that means I'm just lazy. But that's bad detective work. Lazy explains nothing. So I watched myself, like staging a stakeout in my own bedroom. And what I realized was that it's the end of the day. I'm exhausted. And I don't have the energy to think about whether these clothes are dirty enough for the laundry or clean enough to go back to the closet. So they stayed in no man's land, the chair. The chair needed zero decisions from me. I was actually being efficient in that very moment. The chair was winning because the chair was the easiest and I didn't have a dedicated home for these in-between clothes. So I just stopped fighting it and gave the evidence a better home. I just put up simple over-the-door hooks for these worn but not quite dirty clothes. The chair is clear, there is no visible mess in the room, and once a week I just take things off from the hook and decide what needs to go in the washer. That's it. I didn't change my behavior, I just gave it a better landing spot. Case closed. This is the case that saved my dining table and my sanity. Here's the clue. My dining table was collecting everything that doesn't belong on the dining table. Keys, receipts, scissors, measuring tapes, basically whatever was in my hand. And because the table was so central, I would just drop it on the table and move on with my life. So naturally, it had to become a crime scene. Here's what I deduced. I'm not going to walk another 20 feet to keep things back where they belong, especially when I've just come home. The table always used to win because it's flat and it's right in the path. So I actually didn't fight the landing. I just shrunk it. One tray. Everything that would have been sprawled all over my dining table was now allowed to only be within that 2-foot square of a tray. This is the tray I made. It's like a fairly big tray. And this has all kinds of really random things, but things that I end up using every other day. Stuff like scissors, because I know I'm always running around for scissors. I always need tape to be around because I need to pack stuff up and send it to my parents. There's a cutter to open packages. There's a measuring tape because I always keep measuring things. I recently moved into a new apartment. Charger wires, keys, all kinds of pens, pencils that I need to use every day. It looks like a complete mess, but everything in here is something that I need to grab every other day. This goes in this little slot under my table and it stays there. It doesn't look the prettiest and the most aesthetic, but it does my job. Here's what happens. My brain stops registering 20 things on the table and it registers one tray. And that's just way more peaceful. Again, I didn't change the habit. I just gave it a boundary. Case closed. The floordrobe. The pile of clothes that lives on the floor wherever you get dressed. Here's the clue. These are actually dirty clothes that should go into the laundry, but they don't. They're on the floor every single time. Same spot. Of course, the judgment version is I'm such a slob, I leave clothes on the floor all the time. That's useless. Again, here's the simple deduction that even kindergarten Sherlock can figure out. My laundry room is more than 20 steps away. And just after a strenuous workout, right before I have to shower, I'm not going to put my dirty clothes all the way into the laundry room inside that one basket in the corner. The floor wins because the laundry basket is too far to bother with. So I simply stopped bargaining with myself and got another laundry basket for the actual crime scene. Just one basket where the clothes always end up landing. Now the floor and the basket are on the same spot. So they go in. I didn't build a whole new habit. I just found a contained landing spot for where I already dumped things. Case closed. So, 4 cases. I'm sure by now you would have noticed what cracked each one of them. It wasn't discipline, it wasn't trying harder. I just stopped judging my own behavior long enough that I could finally see the facts in front of me. And then I simply moved the mess where I don't see it pile up every day in plain sight. The mess was never proof that you're broken. It was information, your own behavior telling you exactly where stuff needs a home. If you're willing to look at it with curiosity instead of shame. So stop interrogating yourself. Start investigating yourself. Turns out you never were the criminal. You were just the only one who hadn't looked at the evidence. Now I just showed you 4 cases. But those are the obvious ones, the ones sitting out there in the open. Your house probably has cases you can't even see or you haven't considered, like the drawer that won't close, the closet you've been avoiding, that whole one Monica room that's become a dumping ground. And these will be unique to your own house, your own patterns. I can't solve them for you. So I've actually built the full case file, the full system, so you can solve your own cases. It's called the Choose Calm system. Inside it, it's got a Calm Start Finder app. It'll ask you a few questions and bases your own home. It will tell you your exact starting task, your first case to crack. So you never have to stare at the mess again wondering where to begin. There's also a 30-day tracker that walks you through one small case, one small task a day. So by the end of a month, you will have a way calmer home. Plus, there's a weekend reset plan with room by room hints so you can see visible change fast. And on top of all of this, there is a calm maintenance system. So you can keep these clutter cases closed for good. This video taught you the basic method. The Choose Calm system teaches you how to run the method every day in your house, case by case, without needing any more help. You can get started with the system in 5 minutes. I've linked it down in the description below. So this week, here's my advice. Don't open another investigation into everything that's wrong with you. Just pick one spot, the chair, the door, the surface, the floor, any spot where mess keeps gathering again and again. Watch it for a day, like you're on a stakeout. Get your snacks on. No judgment, just curiosity. Find out why the mess keeps landing there. Then give the evidence a home, a tray, a basket, a hook, anything. Like I said, you were never the criminal. You were Oliver Putnam. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to stop some of this evidence from getting into the front door in the first place. I'll link the video somewhere here once it's out. Till then, hit subscribe so you don't miss it, and I'll see you in the next one.